Hello, folks. Hi, this is Paul De La Garza with High Performance Business Solutions, and we're preparing now for our latest installment of our live webinars. So get comfortable if you would, and we will start here in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Well, good day to all of you that have joined us today. My name is Paul De La Garza with High Performance Business Solutions, and I'd like to welcome you to our most recent installment of our live stream webinars, Lead with Heart and Win with Impact. I want to welcome you today because we're going to be covering essentially the elements of emotional intelligence. So let's get started. Again, this is Paul De La Garza. I've got my contact information there. I'm an executive coach and speaker, and I focus predominantly on leadership as my primary area of expertise, along with sales. So today we're going to talk about the emotional intelligence of a leader and the essential elements of emotional intelligence. In other words, the things that a leader needs to have in order to effectively lead completely. And as you can see here in the caption, Simon Sinek quotes essentially saying, leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking care of those who are in your charge. So let's start talking about essentially what emotional intelligence is. It's often referred as EI, and it involves a key series of competencies that essentially affect how we manage our own emotions and how we interact with others and how we interact with our team. So we start with self-awareness, okay, which allows us to understand our own emotions and their effects. We continue on with self-regulation, which is basing itself on self-awareness. And that's where the leader enables you to himself, herself to control the emotional impulses in terms of response to the circumstances that the leader is facing. The next one is empathy. Empathy or understanding of others, the emotions, the things that compel them, and making sure that through this process you promote the support necessary to really foster a strong relationship and a strong high performance culture. Motivation. Motivation, which drives us to succeed and essentially the things that we strive to achieve. And lastly, social skills, which helps us to build and maintain relationships and the very essence of building a culture and a fabric of a team that will really compel them to have a high performance uh, approach. So together, these components form the foundations of effective leadership. The role of emotional intelligence in leadership, okay, can best be described in terms of significantly impacting leadership effectiveness. Leaders who can manage their own emotions and understand others' feelings make better decisions. This skill is particularly useful when collaborating with teams as it promotes a trust and a cohesion. In addition, it improves communication, which frankly leads to more productive conversations and conflict resolution. For those of you that may have missed our last webinar, we have one webinar that was dedicated to conflict resolution. I would encourage you to go into LinkedIn and check that out because it has a lot of good points in order to effectively achieve that. So as a result, leaders with a strong emotional intelligence are better positioned to drive organizational success, better positioned to achieve the mission and all the aspects that I have outlined. Understanding emotions and reactions is a essential component of self-awareness, which is the foundation of emotional intelligence, as I mentioned, and an essential skill for effective leadership. You know, Leaders who are self-aware can better understand their emotional triggers, improve decision-making processes. And the reason is that by reflecting on their emotions, they ensure that their reactions do not cloud the judgment. For example, a leader who recognizes when they are frustrated can pause, reflect, and instead of reacting, respond in a calm manner, ensuring that their decision is cool, grounded in logic rather than on emotional impulses. So it's a very critical component for effective leadership. Remaining calm under pressure. In this case study, we observe how self-awareness transformed a high-stress situation into a successful leadership moment. Before an important client meeting, the manager experienced an intense pressure and he had a conflict with a colleague and a team member. However, by recognizing their emotional state, which took some gathering yourself, pausing, and reflecting on those triggers, the manager and the leader was able to regulate their emotions. This self-awareness allowed them to approach the meeting calmly and ultimately impressing on the client the strengths of the business and establishing a productive relationship. So essentially, remaining under calm under pressure is very, very important because self-regulation is the ability to manage one's emotional responses in difficult situations. And I want to make something very, very clear that it starts with the leader. It essentially has to be said by the leader. And when I say what has to be said is to have a very clear sense of emotional response that is very sensitive to the things that we have actually outlined. Because emotionally intelligent leaders are the ones that are able to remain calm and composed under pressure, grace under pressure, making thoughtful decisions that benefit the team. So, for example, when faced with a tense situation, a leader who practices self-regulation will pause before reacting, ensuring they approach the issue in a very calm, clear, grounded, balanced mindset. Now, let's talk about this case study. In this case study, we see the power of self-regulation. Initially, the leader reacted with frustration when faced with a difficult situation, as you can see in the first stage. However, by practicing emotional self-regulation, they paused and took the time to reflect, calming down before taking action. This allowed them to approach the problem more rationally and leading to effective problem solving and a better team outcome. I think that you can begin to appreciate how important it is to have that aspect of self-regulation and self-awareness. So let's now go into empathy. And empathy is another critical component of this because now, once you have got that self-awareness and self-regulation, you can really base your practice of empathy really well in a very well set approach. So what is empathy? Let's talk about that for a minute. It's the critical relationship skill that allows a leader to connect with their teams, frankly, at a deeper level, at a sensitive level, at a personal level. By actively listening and valuing the emotions of others, what the leader will do will is create a supportive and trusting work environment. This approach not only improves morale, but also enhances team collaboration and long-term commitment. If you really think about it, leaders who exhibit this kind of empathy can better understand the needs and perspectives of the team, and as a result of that, will be considered more effective as leaders. They will be more effective in compassionate decision making because you're dealing with people, and as long as you're dealing with people, you will be dealing with emotions. Okay, so the impact of empathy on team loyalty. Here you are. Empathy in leadership can have far reaching, really impactful effects. In this case study, we see how leaders' empathetic response to a struggling team member improved the individual's morale and engagement. And what happened was that he provided emotional support, and by doing so, the leader helped create a positive and trusting atmosphere. Over time, this empathetic approach resulted in increasing loyalty and commitment and engagement by the team member, highlighting, in effect, the powerful impact of empathy on team dynamics and long-term, organizational success. So the other aspect of this, of course, as we talked about, is the motivation aspect of emotional intelligence. And motivation is the key element for successful leadership. Leaders who can inspire and energize their teams by fostering a shared vision, setting achievable goals, celebrating wins, huge, okay? Created, motivated, and driven workforce. Because instead of just simply having somebody comply, you have someone committed to the mission and essentially following you. In future webinars, we're going to talk about the powers of leadership, and one of them is really referent power, where the leader is actually conferred that leadership posture by their team because they really are recognizing of the character of the leader, and as a result of that, you have a major thrust from the workforce because they're driven and motivated. So whether through acknowledgement of the individual efforts or encouraging collaboration, a motivated team is more likely to meet the objectives, to stay resilient, to be engaged, and as I mentioned, to be committed. Okay, now let's talk about taking failure into a learning opportunity. Okay, motivated leadership often sometimes shines through the brightest level through the face of adversity. So you see a situation where there's a failure that's clear. This is an opportunity for the leader to really rise and shine through emotional intelligence. In this case, the leader reframed the project failure as a valuable learning experience, okay, for the team. By emphasizing growth and resilience, this leader reigniting the team's drive, and frankly, by being validated and engaged, the team felt that the leader was connecting with them. And together they worked toward a successful outcome. In addition, in this case, the leader celebrated their eventual success, which was fostered by that achievement, and this in turn generated a renewed sense of purpose and achievement. The last aspect of emotional intelligence is the social skills. Okay, social skills are the bedrock of effective leadership. To be clear, communication, as you heard me say before, is essential. It's the centerpiece of leadership. Leaders who excel in communication and relationship building are the ones that are going to foster an open dialogue and create a collaborative environment, and primarily because they're listening, because you really seek to understand more than you want to be understood, because you validate the team for what they are. They bring solutions, they bring effort, they bring energy, but they need to be directed. So by facilitating trust and cooperation, they ensure that the leader ensures that the teams work together smoothly which is essentially what you need to do, is to orchestrate a collective, collaborative effort that will engage the entire team to achieve that desired outcome, which is essential for achieving any collective goal and, of course, maintaining a high performance. Here's a case study just to start wrapping up. Okay. Social skills, especially in conflict resolution, are critical, as I mentioned, for maintaining team cohesion. So in this case, the leader identified internal conflict, found that there was a problem that was negatively impacted the team's progress. So he engaged in open dialogue, brought the team together, and allowed team members to really voice their concerns. Did not personalize this, as you heard last week, but focused on the actual challenge in the situation itself. Through this process of communication and seeking to understand, the conflict was resolved, leading to an improved teamwork and project outcome, primarily because the team felt validated. So, actionable steps for growth. Developing emotional intelligence is a continuous process for you as a leader. So, mindfulness practices are essential to becoming more attuned to your emotional responses and triggers. So, we constantly become self aware, okay, and self regulated. Additionally, make sure that you actively are seeking feedback from peers and mentors, which in turn provides valuable insight into how one's emotions affect others. So there is that bilateral communication. Regular reflection also plays on a key role. You have to really respond and ponder and say, okay, so how did I handle that situation? Did I do the right things there? Okay. This will allow you as a leader to assess your actions and emotions. And frankly, you'll be able to improve your decision making and interpersonal reaction process. Over time, these steps will lead to a substantial achievement, growth, and complete, absolutely success, because a lot of your leadership was based on emotional intelligence. So, in conclusion, emotional intelligence is a crucial skill for leaders to foster. If you improve this self awareness, the regulation, the empathy, the motivation, the social skills, you can create a more positive, productive work environment. That's essential for any leader. These emotional intelligent leaders are better equipped to navigate complex interpersonal and difficult dynamics. Make informed decisions, of course, be objective, drive organizational success are some of the byproducts of emotional intelligence. The result is a more engaged and high performing team, and as a result of that, a successful leader. All right. I think we're right at 15 minutes. I want to thank you again, like always, for your initiative in taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Paul De La Garza. I'm an executive coach and speaker with High Performance Business Solutions. You can reach me at p.delagarza@h-pbs.com. And I have my LinkedIn channel where you can actually detail all of this information. You'll be able to actually see this again if you would like. Be on the lookout for a leadership program that we're launching for you to actually participate, where we are going to engage on a number of different things that would include some of the things that you've seen in the last several weeks. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much. Take care of yourself and be well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.